Okay, my internet went off for a bit there. That's we shall be resilient and continue. Okay, here we are making this. I think I'm not going to talk too much today. I'm liking how things are looking now. See, maybe add some more neon signs so they can just should be a different material. Maybe can add some sort of billboard onto this building. Hey Jackson Studio, hello Sparrow, add some more cable. Oh, you think I should add some more cables? Okay, let me do that, because we do have a lot of cables. I think should have what runner engine are you using? I'm using Eevee for this. Okay, so you want more cables? More cables it will be. I like the brightness we get from that. I think I like the brightness. We just need to add some obstacles to this. Unreal Engine 5 might run faster if you import your models and texture from Blender to Unreal. Well, textures done in Blender don't really import in Unreal directly. You have to bake them first, which is another process I would wish not to do. Although Unreal Engine 5 takes up a lot of storage on PC. I think they also released a new version. Haven't checked yet, but I think they did release a new version. Oh, let's add more cables, like you said. Now maybe we can play with the contrast just a bit. And add more stuff. I downloaded Unreal Engine 5 but don't know how to use it. There are quite a lot of tutorials if you want to learn. It's not that hard. It's just that what usually stops people from using it is to get anything final. Okay, Blender is hanging on me. Today we're having a lot of issues. This week we're having a lot of issues. Not sure why. Finally crashed. I don't know how to use it either, and I've used it several times through the years. Blender had the reason why the stream is buffering is because Blender had froze, so it froze up the entire PC. Let me make sure I'm saving a backup copy for this. I don't want to lose my progress. It should now be okay. You don't know how to use it, though you have used this several times? What have you used it for? I think the difference between Blender and Unreal Engine is that with Blender you can get to a final result within a few days or even a day, but Unreal Engine it's a process. You use Blender on Linux, and how are you finding it? Just trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Seems like so. And what was I going to add in here? I was still adding in some assets. I think in order to make our scene more easier to work with, I think we can go to the image editor, and under images there's an option to reduce the size of the images, which can speed up render times and the interface. But I guess you would have to do that per image. Yeah, I have to resize per image, which is not what I want to do. It's better than a Windows. You sure? Didn't know that. We need to add some more street assets. Like this pole here. Now, the issue I don't like about Eevee is that it freezes the entire interface whenever it's compiling shaders, and I think I'm starting to hit limits of my PC now every time I try this. Blender is just crashing on me. I think I'm going to... Let me first turn off some of the post-processing here, like ambient occlusion and screen space reflections. They're not adding much, but kind of crashing Blender. My idea is to use Blender for creating objects and characters, then import them into Unreal Engine for animation and rendering, since the render engine might be faster. Yeah, I think Unreal Engine is much faster. Let me see, can I take off screen space reflections? It doesn't really do much. I think if I want to import things successfully, I would have to first go out of texture mode, I think. I Let's see. I have to wait for Blender to compile the shaders again. So how many of you can use Unreal Engine? Okay. I think I'm hitting a load block here. I think I'm running out of memory or something, so every time I try. Yeah, so I will still use Blender for creating and texturing and sculpting. You texture in Blender? Because that's a lot of work. I use a Substance Painter for texturing. It's much easier, speeds up the process quite a lot. I really want to learn Unreal Engine for rendering. I think I should also get into Unreal Engine because it's much faster at handling textures. It's much better at handling textures and rendering, real-time rendering than Blender. Okay, let's try a different scene because let's try creating a different scene because that one, I think we have hit the limits of what my PC can handle. Let me go to ArtStation because I still want to stream for a little bit more. Let's see what can we retopologize. You want to learn retopologizing? I think in the future it might get a bit easier retopologizing because now more and more tools can do retopologizing in a single click. Especially, I think 3ds Max has the best tool for handling that. I'm looking at this piece. Looks quite good. Let me see. First, want to judge how many assets I have from this, because if we try to work on this without pre-made assets, it takes way longer than I want. No, I like this scene here, the lighting from this scene. So let's, in the remaining few minutes, let's try it and make this, because the previous scene we are working on, my PC is failing me. It can't really handle that. Now we can do this and then play with different lighting. Or this. Let's see. Hey, Ganja Farmer. It's been a while. How are you? I didn't texture in Blender yet, but I'm gonna look further into once I finish my human head someday. Ah, nice. Ganja Farmer. How's everything? How have you been? Okay. Let's change the aspect ratio to something narrower. Fit the scene. I'm going to use some pre-made stuff to get the scene to look faster. To get the scene to look the way I want. Road. Speaking of lighting, Lumen does a good job. What do you think? Yeah, I've seen some demos and it definitely looks really cool. I think let me grab this road. Let me go to texturing here. Okay. We don't need the lines since this is an alley. I think this is just have to get rid of that material. Play with the textures. Hey Zigzag, how's it? It's been a while. Call this alley 2. All good, man, all good. How are you doing? Everything all right? Yeah, things are good, things are good. We're just having we were having a few issues with the internet, but yeah, we'll survive, we'll survive. I wish I had the option to just switch my internet provider, because the issue is that the ones I can switch to are quite expensive, so it's not an option I can manage. Let me play with the positioning of this. Okay. Okay, let's set up a few things. This doesn't have to be that long. Let me go to my asset library, grab a light. I want some kind of fluorescent light like this, and okay, I know that. Hello Quake, how are you? I want, yeah, something like this, and I think I'm going to also use a point light here. We can start something like this. Let me turn on the bloom. I want this to be a bit reflective, so something like that. Let's add some walls. Let me see, do I have tile walls? Now it helps the engine run smoother with its high poly count, poly objects. Yes, I think I saw the demo. It was really promising. Why don't you switch internet providers? The lines may be too old. No, the internet. I have I actually have 3 internet providers, but this one is the cheapest and the fastest. It's just that sometimes the internet goes off, but it doesn't go off as much as the others. Cheaper, faster, and a bit less reliable, but the internet goes off once a month, so I can bear that, I guess. Let me add call this principal volume. Yeah, once a month is okay. It doesn't go off that bad, but sometimes it goes off in the most crucial time, so which sucks. Anyway, so let me add some walls here. I think I can get a concrete block, get some concrete material. Maybe give it a bevel. Hopefully Blender will have the same technology as Unreal Engine in the future. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, because Unreal Engine uses a completely different system than Blender, because it's a game engine, so it doesn't have to keep all the data that Blender would, because yeah, I don't remember who, someone explained it better. I don't remember who exactly, but I think because Unreal Engine is a game engine, it doesn't have to handle or have to save the same data as Blender has to. That's why you see it can Unreal Engine can handle more polygons than Blender, simply because it doesn't store all the necessary data that is required to edit objects, since you don't really do much editing in Unreal Engine. Let me add our signature cut. Just gives us some direction. Just tells us what to do. Now, most of the other things we could do here is just set dressing to make the scene our own. So let's do that. I think I have some tile material. Let me see, I have this. Yeah, I think that looks good. The reflections are too sharp, so let's break them up. I'll use my texture folder add-on here. Where is it? Texture folder. Let me make sure that I've activated. Texture folder. Let's see, texture folder. I can search for some grunge map. Okay, it seems that I don't have any folders linked. Let me go to my resources. Load in this. Okay, have something like this. I'll import it as a texture like this. Hello Nano Studio, how are you? This should be... Hey, let me reduce the size of this so we can create more space for ourselves. I saw in Blender today live that something like Eevee next is coming to Blender. Like something like Eevee next. Eevee next, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean like another version of Eevee? Because I'm kind of confused. Okay, yeah, let's break up these reflections a bit with a grunge map like that. I don't know if you can see it with the YouTube compression, but it's definitely helping. Then we can do multiply or screen. I mean, in terms of rendering animation or cinematics, I'm hoping Blender will either update the engine, the Eevee engine, or make another real-time engine, but with better shading and lighting. I think creating an engine from scratch is a lot of work, so they'll just improve Eevee instead of creating another one from scratch. You come to see what I'm doing. Good, great. We finished the first project. My PC couldn't really handle more vertices or more polygons, so that's why you see that I will switch to a different scene. But hey, now I think I can rotate these. Just have this go off in the corner like that, and then maybe extend this and actually make these walls taller. Yeah, these tiles can also be smaller. And this one we can use a different light. Yeah, something interesting like that. For the roof, I'm still using 2.97, and when I switch to Blender, Blender bugs me. What? You're still on 2.9? That's way back, man. Why are you still on 2.9? Is it because you're saying that Blender crashes? Maybe it's a hardware problem, because there have been a lot of improvements. let's go to let's find some wires to use in here. Have these L-shaped wires. Hey, thank you Tasha Kari for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Let's have some wires. Hello, Herisarius. Yeah, my stream crashed. I was having some internet issues. Yeah, this week hasn't gone well for me. But yeah, we'll survive. What country are you from? I'm from Uganda. That's in East Africa. Where are you from? Let's add some doors, I think. Actually, I think let's add this rolling shutter door. I think it will add some nice detail to the scene. So something like that. I like my consistency. Thank you, thank you. I am from Australia, if I haven't said already. I don't think you have ever told me though. Yeah, so it's good to know that. So how is it there? How are things there? How is Australia? Your content is very unique and from Indonesia. Nice. Thank you, Rival. How are you finding Indonesia? I want to get some money and do some traveling, but it's simply a lot to do. Maybe one time I will do like a meetup with you guys, hopefully. If I get big enough. Let me grab a light here, area light. Yes, I know. I do know the way. I do know the way. When I hear Uganda, Black Panther comes to mind automatically. Yeah, a lot of people liked it here. I have an i7-33K at 4 GHz, 32 GB, a GTX 970, but I will wait for a new version of Blender to come out. So I think, so it's your graphics card that is that might be causing an issue, because I see other specs you have really look good. Let me see, can I use a 20mm here? Let's look for some rough assets. That we can use here. Let me see, let me try this. Just so our roof is not super plain. Actually, that we don't need the mirror. Just need that. Speaking of collab, does Blender have an option where multiple people work on same blend file on different devices? Yeah, I think I saw something like that. Yeah, it's possible. Don't remember what it's called. Is it linked files? Linked something. Let's see what more other stuff we can add in here to make things. We need to add in some garbage. Or maybe this ball could do. Yeah, there is an option. I just don't remember what it is called, because I never needed to use it, so I can't remember what it is. Or maybe I'm remembering a different application. I'm sure it was in Blender. Yeah, let's maybe some. You know what? Let's create a story around here. Okay. Maybe someone died and the cat is just mourning there. Trying to put some candles. To make sure we save a backup copy. Alright. This is taking up a lot of space for no good reason. Let's just have it maximize the space we're using. Oh, Rival, you said maybe you can do a collab project. Yeah, I think we could do that. It takes a lot of arrangement. Do you watch for Hollywood? Actually, I know the guy who made that. I know the guy. I don't remember what this was, but let me add it. think I can have it, since it's not too detailed, I'm going to have it way back here. It's like a fridge. A Blender multi-user add-on. There is another one, I forgot what it's called. Yeah, there is also another one that is not just an... There's a feature that is not an add-on. It comes in-built. If they don't have it, it would be a great way to boost your workflow with the help of other projects, other people. Yeah. The issue with working with maybe with other people that I might see is consistency in the quality of work. So you might have you're not really sure what you're going to get if you do it that way, because you might find some people are very good at what they're doing, as some are not as good. Okay, I wanted to add some kind of a memorial something here. Maybe the cat is mourning their owner. Like, we want several candles here. And maybe a picture. So let's search for frame. Let's see, can we get, do I have any flowers here? Do you agree that texturing and lighting does more for a render than good modeling? Yeah, definitely. It's about the textures. Textures can make something, a model that is not really good, and make it look superb. Let's see, what else can we add in here? Let's get some garbage bin, put it somewhere here. You can see like this model here, this garbage bin, it's not highly detailed, but the texturing just makes it look good, I think. The last project I did without optimization, around 8 hours render, optimization 1 hour. And how did you optimize the project? When I do a project, a large project, where there are a lot of details, I do optimize. How do you optimize really? It would be creepy if you add a person in the background. Yeah, sure, let's add a person there. I think I have some characters. Excuse me. Add this one. You mean like that? Yeah, I think it is really. It makes the scene even more interesting, I think. Let's add some barricades. Maybe yeah, I'm going to add this beer thing here. Add this beer sign. Do you have Instagram? Yes, I do have Instagram. I just rarely post there. Yeah, we should do some projects together as a community. One day would be Rat would be funny. Oh, that would be funny. Yeah, I think I'm not sure though what we could make, because I think CG Cookie's channel has did a good collabo, and they made something really interesting. They made a kind of a village, a medieval village. The project really came out really nicely, but I think since they already have a platform of creators, it was a bit easier for them. If it's a human character, good modeling is better along with good lighting and shading. Yeah, if it's a character, because people can really easily tell when a character isn't well made, when something is off with the face or something. Trying to get the right color for this lamp. Where your camera is, you put high quality models, and further you go, the less resolution you put, and more poly details. Yeah, that's true. That's how you optimize, I guess. I've also started working on something like this, where to send it if complete. You can go to Discord. I just use !! Discord. I can share that there. Yeah, let's add in some wires hanging from these ceilings. Looks like a vending machine would fit in this scene. Do I have a vending machine? I don't think I have a vending machine though. Let me see. Let me check after this. Hey Jit Saluja, how are you? Post all your ads on Instagram, maybe it will make you famous. I think I will. I just get a bit lazy. I'll surely share it once I complete working on the scene. Yeah, that would be amazing. For example, you have you take a house with a texture nearby, you put an 8K texture, and the house behind it can have a 2K or 4K texture. Yeah, I think yeah, that's a good way to optimize. Have these extra wires, maybe have them on the surface, or have them hang above the surface. 8K textures in the foreground, 4K in the middle, and 2K in the background might help with the rendering. But does rendering really care about how big the textures are? I think it's usually I guess it does matter. Because I was thinking maybe it doesn't matter a lot because it's a memory issue. It has to loads that stuff in memory first before it renders. Any tips or resources on how to start learning creating with nodes? There's a bunch of tutorials, so I think that is a good place to start. Trying to change the flow to something different. Just first leave it at that. And see, yeah, have these seats. Could add here. There is that Mother silhouette. I think. Let me see. Is it Mother silhouette? Am I spelling mother correctly? And just make sure that YouTube doesn't show anything. Yeah, these here, I think we can use them. Let me see which one is good. I think maybe this. So I'm going to use my texture folders add-on. Texture size matters a lot. Yeah, I know it matters, but it doesn't matter it doesn't add on render time, I think. Does it? I don't think it does much. It only adds on the, what is it called? Because when you hit render, there are some calculations that are done first before the render starts. That's the additional time it adds to. It adds time to that, but not on the render time, I think. Not sure. Don't quote me on that. Let's where's my texture folders? Texture folders. Let me load my downloads. I want this one, and I want to import it as a texture on a plane. Sets up everything for me. Except I need this to be the alpha. Actually, let me use I need to color invert the alpha. Hey, Shagan Damadia, thank you for the $1 or almost $2. Thank you, really appreciate that. Helps up the channel a lot. Thank you. I save a lot of time by using the denoising data option in the viewport layer properties. Oh yeah, in the preview, when you're previewing, you mean? Thank you, Shagan. Any tips on all resources? I'll start creating with nodes. Yeah, like I said, YouTube is a good place to get tips. Sorry, to get tutorials. What specifically, do you mean geometry nodes or just nodes in general? It saves on time when rendering. Do you know that? It adds to the memory you need to render. I see. And when I post a picture and write a render time of 145 minutes in the description, for example, people are wondering how it took you so little time to render. I answer them, just look at how the games work. Yeah, but I think that trick only works for still images, because if you are rendering animation, then it becomes a bit difficult. Lighting is pub. Thank you. I think maybe we can also adjust the aspect ratio. But I'm confused when I have to wonder which node to use. That comes with experience. You just don't watch a bunch of tutorials and learn everything. That is going to come with experience. Don't worry about that too much. Oh, there is these other things. These I don't know how they're called in investigations, but markings where you have numbers. Let me use my text folder here. Link resources. Let me see, walls. I think I'm just going to use that for this texture. Thank you, Pepitas, for subscribing. Really appreciate that. The normal nodes I just started with Blender. Well, normal nodes are used to add bump detail to a material. I actually have a few tutorials on that. Let's add a text here. I'll call this 3. I'll give it a black color like that. I'm not going to text this. I'm just going to, let me see. Okay, Let's have this. Yeah, something like this. It should be dark. Like those markings to show that maybe there was evidence here, evidence there. So that's going to be, and this can be like 1, can be like 2. Please add in the description your PC configurations. You can use exclamation mark specs to find out, to see my specs. Hey George P, thank you for subscribing. Your work is awesome. Do you have any website or platform where I can see your work all together? I don't post a lot, but you can go to my Instagram or just go to Discord where I post the renders, the final renders, and thank you. Please add, I think I've answered that. Try rendering in cycles to see how it looks. Let's see. Let's see how it looks in cycles. Compared to 3ds Max, is Blender more advanced? Not really, and I think all of them are advanced in one way or the other, and each one is better than the other in some way. You can't really compare them directly like that. It's very hard. Okay, cycles will not work today. Let's stick to Eevee, since cycles seems to crash Blender. Let's see, what else can we add in here? Oh, there is that police don't cross light thing. And that should be very easy. And no crossing thing. I think we can simply just use a cloth simulation for that. So I'm going to grab this here and maybe give it a slight rotation like that. I think we can have more than a few of these. Let me first unwrap these, because they usually add, at least in the movies I've seen, they usually have a few of these no crossing police thing. Let me first isolate them. Just grab, actually should have done this before I duplicated these, but it's okay. Just have that, give them a vertex group, assign like that. You can make a tutorial series on shading and lighting. But you see, the issue with that is that there isn't a lot. I usually just do how do I put this? How do I want this? There's not a lot to teach when it comes to lighting, especially for scenes like this. You have to just play around with lighting and see what feels good. What might be easier to teach is lighting characters, but I don't do characters. Okay, have those. I think I'm going to use shrink factor. Okay, something like that. Okay, I think we have too many. We just need like 2. I think they need to be a bit thinner. Yeah, something like that. We can apply now the cloth modifier. I added the denoise option to the Discord. Try it out. It helped me a lot. Saves render time. Let me see. Do you do that in cycles, or I would imagine that is in cycles. I agreed to. I just have 2 minutes and that I'm watching, and I would like to know what is the workflow for other lighting here. So the way I handle usually my lighting, like I said, I just go with what feels natural and looks good. One tip I could give you is have your lights in a collection called lights, for example, and if you're not sure what light to turn on what light to turn off, just switch all of them off and then start adding one by one, checking what impact does each light add to the scene. So I think even that single light only looks good to me. You can see what impact each light does, and you can adjust other lights accordingly. Let's see if I think I like the warm. I works only in cycles. Let me see. You guys have some amazing work in the Discord. Look at this. This is by Mike Miz. Looks really good. Impressive. Nice robot by Alaska T. Yeah, I'll come back to this and check that out. Anyway, you're rendering in cycles. There is a few tutorials on shading, how to do combined nodes. If you make a series, it will be great for beginners, and maybe that tutorial series will be turning point for your channel. I will look into it and see. Hello, Max Sonic. How are you? How's everything? You've been away for a while. Hello. For me, it is hard to work in Eevee because I know that in the end, cycles will give better results. Yes, but for me right now, because I'm streaming, working in cycles, especially if you're going to add volumetrics, it becomes a bit very slow. The rendering becomes quite significantly slow, so that's why I see I'm choosing to stay away from it. We need to text these. Let's get that police no crossing. This texture. I wish we could do procedure text in Blender. There is this from Alami. Has their stuff, but I'm not going to mind that. So let me create a new material and just bring in this image. I guess we can also like that. It's usually very reflective. And maybe we can add a small light here just to make those words visible. Okay, that's too much light. Are you going to add the orange door? The orange door. Oh, from the reference image? Where is that? Where is the reference image? You mean this door here? I think we can do that. Let me see. Do I have any doors here? I don't feel like creating one from scratch. I think we can just add it. Close up the camera here. First have these wires go up around here, so we can have the door somewhere there. So okay, this shouldn't. It should be its own instant object. Yeah, add the orange door. Yes, let me try and see how to make it. I need to add place for the door, so let's add a frame here. Okay. Now the door, the orange door, let's try starting like this. Insert. I think I can add a bevel. Then seems ours is a bit too wide. what are your max samples when you usually render? I usually don't change the max samples. I set the time. Say, I usually just use the time feature. I set it like for 15 minutes to render for 15 minutes or 10. Let me get, I think I have a metal. Now let's create a material that looks like this. Let me go to my texture folders add-on. Again, it is disabled. Texture folder. Texture folder. I think, let me link. Do I have metals here? Let me see. Let me just search for rust or metal. Don't have any metal materials. Let me search now. Okay, now I have something. Let me see, link my okay, so maybe this should be like a simple introduction to materials. So let's say we want to texture this in the same way like this. What we can do, let me turn on some ambient occlusion here because we're going to use it to mask. So this is basic. You can create a new material. You can import the image anywhere you want. You can use Shift A, texture, image, and then navigate to where you have the image. But because I'm using my texture folder add-on, I can simply search for any image textures that I have in my folders that I've linked here, and I should get that. So I'm going to start with these scratches, import those into this here. So you can see, and because this object is not UV unwrapped, I'm just going to use cube projection so that we have some scratches on this, and I maybe even add mapping. That should add some texture coordinate mapping. Let me change this to box like that, and I want to use, basically create a mask for scratches and paint out of this. So now I can have a color mix RGB node, and I use this as the factor. So this mask is now going to determine what parts are scratches and what parts are paint, like we have here. I can use this as the base color. Now we basically have something like this, and I can also use the same mask to drive our metallic. Like that. And I can also use the same thing to drive our roughness. We can make this less. More like that. Now let me see, do I have rust? Because I think I have a rust.